Right now, with Election Day less than a week away, President Biden is calling on all Americans to stand against political violence.
Plus, abortion will be on the ballot next week in the form of a referendum question. Why experts say the language is misleading.
And the Parkland school shooter is formally sentenced more than 4 years after the massacre. That's all coming up tonight at 10.
I appeal to all Americans, regardless of party, to meet this moment of national and generational importance. We must vote, knowing what's at stake and not just the policy of the moment.
Good evening and thanks for having us in. That's President Biden speaking to the American people tonight in a primetime address about the threat to democracy.
President Biden says he was inspired to do so after an intruder broke into House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's house and attacked her husband. He says the assault on the House Speaker's elderly husband is a symptom of violent extremism. The president warned voters that hundreds of Republican candidates, led by former President Trump, have questioned the integrity of American elections.
Lies of conspiracy and malice, lies repeated over and over to generate a cycle of anger, hate, vitriol, and even violence.
President Biden hopes voters will make protecting democracy and accepting election results a key factor when deciding who to vote for.
With Election Day just 6 days away now, the Marquette Law School released its final poll before the big day. In the race for governor, among likely voters, Governor Tony Evers and Republican challenger Tim Michels are both tied at 48 apiece. The governor had a 1-point lead a month ago. In the race for U.S. Senate, again, among likely voters, Senator Ron Johnson has a 2-point lead, 50-48, over Democratic challenger Mandela Barnes. That's 4 points closer than it was just a month ago. Both races fall well within the poll's margin of error of 4.8% among likely voters conducted over the last week. One of the big topics on the ballot in this year's election is abortion, and not just in candidates' platforms.
A referendum question in Dane County asks voters if they think Wisconsin's 1849 abortion ban should be repealed, but experts tell our Arman Rahman it's hoping to sway the opinions of voters without giving them all the information.
That's right, guys. The supervisor who wrote that question wants you to agree with her. There's no reason the state's abortion ban should stand. An expert I spoke with tonight tells me those words were chosen deliberately, and it's not a new tactic. On the bottom of the midterm ballot, Dane County voters will be asked, should Wisconsin Statute 940.04, which bans abortion at any stage of pregnancy without exception for rape, incest, or health of the patient, be repealed to ensure legal access to abortion care?
It makes it sound as though the law that's being tested has no exceptions whatsoever. So it's misleading.
But the 1849 abortion ban?
The way the statute is written is not perfectly clear.
Says it doesn't apply to a therapeutic abortion which is necessary to save the life of the mother.
The opinion that's being promoted here is that the Republicans are absolutists on the question of abortion, and the implications, of course, are they get power. An absolute ban on abortion under all circumstances will take effect in Wisconsin.
UW-Madison law professor Howard Schwaber says this is called an advisory referendum.
It's a poll designed to elicit a response in the people answering it, not for the sake of the poll, but in the hope of swaying their opinions.
But now, with more accurate scientific political polls, Schwaber believes advisory referendums
They have to go.
because this question's already sent mixed messages that aren't easy to clear up.
I've talked to people who were confused, who thought that the law was up for being either affirmed or struck down based on this referendum. And it's just one more among an apparently endless list of blows to people's faith in the democratic process as it operates in our state and in our country.
He says given the thoughts of election denial happening nationwide, voters' faith is something we can't afford to lose right now.
You know, if anything, this is a time to be extra vigilant and bend over backwards to be transparent and to conduct our democratic operations in ways that will hopefully increase public confidence. This doesn't strike me as doing that.
And I reached out to District 7 Supervisor Cecily Castillo twice today for an interview. She declined, but sent me a statement, which reads in part, health and life are two different things. There is a life exception, but not a health exception. This referendum question gives Dane County voters the ability to make their opinion about whether Wisconsin's archaic abortion ban should be repealed. Loud and clear.
Armand, thank you. Former Attorney General Eric Holder is canvassing for Mandela Barnes ahead of midterms. Holder, who served in the Obama administration as the first African-American Attorney General, is pushing voters to the polls.
I look at Ron Johnson, I'm thinking to myself, you know, he's not only running against Mandela, he's running against Franklin Roosevelt because he's against, you know, Social Security. He's running against Lyndon Johnson because he's against Medicaid and Medicare.
Meanwhile, Johnson made campaign stops in Menominee and River Falls as he travels the state on a bus tour as well. You can take a closer look at the numbers in the story on the front page of our website. We also have everything you need to know about Tuesday's election, including where you can vote and what you should bring to the polls on channel3000.com. We'll also share results in real time as votes are counted on Election Day.
Across the country, the latest CBS News Battleground Tracker poll shows Republicans currently in a good position to win a majority in the House, possibly creating a divided government. President Biden is hoping Democrats retain control of Congress, which could come down to key races in Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. Now, speaking of Pennsylvania, concerns are growing about voter intimidation, including harassment or people showing up armed at polling places.
Your authoritarian, un-American, anti-democratic conduct on Election Day, if it is illegal, will put you in jail.
In a win for Republicans, the state's Supreme Court ruled Tuesday officials can't count votes from mail-in or absentee ballots that don't have accurate handwritten dates on their return envelopes. Let's check your certified most accurate forecast with Julian Seawright. Starbucks is releasing those holiday cups tomorrow. I just can't believe it because it's so nice out.
Oh, I know. It's hard to believe because you'll be drinking that thinking it's almost Christmas time, but it really feels like it's late September for us. A gorgeous night is on tap once again for us, folks, and this is kind of becoming a nice trend, but for those who are wanting some wintry or at least fall-like weather, I'm sorry, we're just not going to get that just yet, but hopefully in the horizon. But looking ahead to tonight, temperatures going to maintain into those 50s, gradually dropping to what our low is going to be around 52 degrees here in Madison and for Janesville, around 54 degrees over towards Platteville. But many of us are going to finally fall into those lower 50s closer by the time you're heading out the door. And on top of it, here's a look at tomorrow. Just a quick little preview. We're looking at another day at 71 degrees. It's going to become mostly cloudy by the time we get into our late Thursday evening, though. But windy conditions, folks, are going to be right behind it. And for sure, it's going to be mild, but you're going to need to grab the rain gear. We'll tell you why and how you may be impacted with this coming system in just a few moments. Until then, let's go ahead and toss it back to you guys.
Thank you, Julian. The Parkland school shooter will spend the rest of his life behind bars without the possibility of parole after being formally sentenced today. Last month, a jury decided not to impose the death penalty, something many families were frustrated with. For the second day in a row, they got a chance to address the shooter directly.
It's not the physical suffering, it's the fact that I'll have to live with the aftermath of this for the rest of my life.
Under Florida law, the judge was not allowed to deviate from the jury's guidance. The hearing was simply a chance for families and survivors to find closure.
Staying in Florida, where voters are confused over who is allowed to vote. That's after nearly 24 former felons were arrested this summer and charged with voter fraud. Ronald Miller said he registered to vote after being approached by a canvasser at a grocery store. He received a registration card in the mail and voted in 2020, but because he was a convicted murderer, he was not actually eligible. Miller was arrested days after state police showed up to his home, flagging the violation. So far, at least one of these cases has already been dismissed.
A woman is facing charges after she was arrested for a hit and run in Columbia County. Deputies say the 43-year-old hit a bicyclist and then drove off. It happened on Highway J yesterday. The bicyclist was hospitalized with serious injuries. That officer said the woman showed signs of impairment during the traffic stop. A Dane County woman is pledging to help prevent more bicyclists and pedestrians from getting hit by vehicles. Laura Butel says she was driving down the road this morning when she nearly hit a jogger who was wearing dark clothing. She says this close call inspired her to take action. Laura wrote on Facebook that she'll buy a bag of reflective vests and then put them out for people to wear. She says this is her small way of making sure people know about the dangerous encounters that can happen.
Maybe just seeing the vest will remind drivers to be careful and remind walkers, joggers, runners. I think as adults, we tell our kids to do that, but then we think we're invincible when we get bigger and grown up. And I just hope it'll do something.
Laura plans to put a couple dozen reflective vests near Lincoln Road on Oregon's far south side for people to use.
The Department of Health Services is launching COVID telehealth services for adults across the state. The goal is to increase access to antiviral treatments for the virus. You can schedule an appointment through the DHS website. It lasts about 30 minutes and it's free. Same for the medication. A clinician decides if you are eligible and in need of the drugs, then prescribes them immediately if you are. The prescription goes directly to your pharmacy of choice, but if you cannot get to a pharmacy, the state will ship the medicine overnight to your home. Still ahead, your Thanksgiving meal is going to cost a bit more this year. How much you will be forking over for this holiday meal.
Plus, mortgage rates keep soaring as the Fed raises interest rates once again. What it means for the housing market.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel Community. Call today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
In every corner of our state, Wisconsinites feel the impact of a changing climate, from the effects on our crops and livestock to the damage to our roads and highways. That's why Governor Tony Evers has a plan to take action and protect our state. It will get Wisconsin to 100% clean energy, lower power bills, grow our local economies, and create more than 40,000 jobs right here in Wisconsin. Tony Evers, focused on doing the right thing for Wisconsin families.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of a journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and claim one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs on their way. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
When pain says, I'm here, I say, so are they. Aleve, who do you take it for?
Thousands stranded on 9/11, a small town in Newfoundland that opened their homes. The Broadway musical, Come From Away.
As governor, I'll always try to do the right thing. I've worked with both parties to find middle ground to improve and invest in our public schools, cut income taxes, and put our state on solid financial footing. But here's what I won't do. I won't cut public school funding. I won't be Donald Trump's puppet, and I'll never allow radical politicians to make decisions about abortion. That should be left to women and their doctors. I'm Tony Evers, and I'm asking for your vote.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel Community. Call today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
He's always a good time. Alfonso Cordero is here.
That photo's really hurting me right now.
Then a fun surprise for a principal and his students. You want to start a basketball program for the kids.
Yes, I do.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Interest Interest rates are rising once again, marking the largest series of Fed rate hikes in more than 30 years. This as the Fed works to tame inflation and slow the economy. And it appears to be working at least in one really noticeable place, the housing market. According to lending giant Freddie Mac, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage averaged 7.8% in the week ending October 27th. For comparison, a year ago, the 30-year fixed rate stood at 3.14%. Experts say the higher the rates go, the less you can afford.
People buy houses based on what the monthly payment is. The payment prices, the actual monthly cost, the payment, has gone up by as much as 50%.
Meanwhile, demand for mortgages has dropped dramatically. According to the Mortgage Bankers Association, applications are at their slowest pace since 1997.
And like everything else lately, Thanksgiving is getting more expensive. Market research firm IRI predicts this year's meal could be about 13.5% more costly than last year. Shoppers are probably aware they might have to shell out more for holiday food given how high grocery prices have been lately. According to an IRI survey, about 38% of consumers expect to pay more for Thanksgiving meals, even though they're planning to buy the same amount of food. I think it's a good time to be a guest
yes,
at Thanksgiving this year.
Honestly,
bring a nice gift for your hostess.
There you go.
Well, the one gift that we could potentially bring is some decent weather, at least what we've had. I'll try my best, Charlotte. But as of right now, we do have the wonderful gift of mild conditions once again, especially as we head into our Thursday and even for tonight, because temperatures are actually still going to be rather mild than what they've had been over the last couple of days. But we'll get to that in just a moment. Here's a look at our surface map as of right now. Mild conditions have the upper Midwest in a chokehold on top of breezy conditions coming in from the south, which has really been fueling plenty of those warmer temperatures that we felt, not only just for today, but we're going to head into for our Thursday. Now, taking a look at what we're watching for is this low pressure system, which is moving its way from the Great Plains, and right behind is the cold front, which is going to cool things down a bit, but we're also looking at all this moisture that's moving itself in for us to be bringing in some potential showers and even thunderstorms by the time we get into our Friday morning. So let's start things off for tomorrow. 71 degrees is what our high is going to be for us, but folks, it will be another windy day for us. Make sure that you're prepared for your hat to be blown off. We're looking at winds to be sustained from 15 to 25 miles per hour, and the cloud cover won't really build until we get into our Thursday night. So to start off our day is going to be mostly sunny. You're going to see whatever cloud cover that we build from tonight really dissipate. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures in the 70s, and by the time we get into the rest of our Thursday evening, that's where we're going to start to see some changes. But walking out the door, we're going to be in the lower 50s. Plenty of sun, but it will be breezy. Then by the time we get to a lunchtime hour, still not much in terms of cloud cover, but it's going from breezy to windy, and on top of it, middle to upper 60s, and even some lower 70s for us here in southern Wisconsin. Then as we build into our Thursday afternoon, the warmth is going to be at its peak around 3 o'clock for us, but the breezy and windy conditions are going to continue, and as we get into our Thursday overnights. Now, Thursday nights, we may see a couple of isolated showers, but overnights, when we're going to start to see a line of showers start to develop, and by the time we get into our late Friday morning and around lunchtime, is where we're going to be seeing multiple bands of showers and potentially even some thunderstorms starting to roll their way in to southern Wisconsin. So make sure that you have your rain gear and you're prepared for anybody who's going to any kind of outdoor high school activities or have any activities at all for Friday nights. You bring in also the rain gear and be prepared for any delays, because we're going to be looking at showers and thunderstorm potential throughout the course of our Friday evening and especially heading into the overnight hours. Now, what about the Badger game? Well, the Badgers are going to be home against Maryland, kicking off around 11. So here's what we're seeing. Overnights, early Saturday morning, we'll see plenty of showers and potentially more bands of some isolated thunderstorms. But going into around 11 o'clock hour, we are looking for that to be our break. Cloudy and very windy conditions will stick around. A bit cooler as well, as we're going to be seeing around 40 degrees to even 50 degrees for us heading into our Saturday afternoon and evening. Now, taking a look at how much rain we could potentially see, 2 to 3 inches, and some areas could see even more, that could be in the isolated areas with the heavy rainfall that we're going to be looking at from Friday going into our Saturday morning. We do need the rain, though. We are in abnormally dry conditions for us here in southern Wisconsin, especially just west of Dane County, and even in a moderate drought into the furthermost western parts of the area. But taking a look at our 10-day forecast, here's one thing that we are going to be watching for is the showers and thunderstorms thunderstorms developing from Friday going into our Saturday morning. But then once we get into the rest of Saturday, things may be rather dry. Just cloud cover holding firm. And then as we get into our Sunday, well, we're going to be looking at still unseasonable weather as we go into the rest of the week. And we can't forget that we are going to be setting back our clocks 1 whole hour from Saturday night into our Sunday.
And coming up, tackling the Terrapins, what Wisconsin has to do to slow down Maryland's explosive offense. Zach and Jim Polzing break it down next on the Badger Blueprint.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Aren't you tired of the division and the anger? I know I sure am. Our country faces enormous challenges. I promise I'll do everything I can to help make things better, and I'll always tell you the truth. What continues to give me hope are the kind and decent people I meet all over Wisconsin. People who love America and are willing to work hard to unify and heal it. Please join us. I'm Ron Johnson, I approve this message, and I'm asking for your vote.
'Tis the season for the Menards Enchanted Forest. Take a stroll through a Christmas tradition that goes back over 60 years. We have everything you need to make your home a Christmas winter wonderland, inside or out. Find the perfect outdoor inflatable. Choose your tree. Find the perfect ornaments and garlands. Can't forget the tree topper. Menards Enchanted Forest has all your Christmas needs. Even Santa can't miss out on these savings and selection.
The Internet of Things is evolving, creating the Internet of You. And Spectrum, America's leading internet and mobile provider, is bringing you seamless connectivity across all your devices. Introducing Spectrum One, Spectrum Internet with speeds of 300 megabits, advanced Wi-Fi, and Spectrum Mobile Unlimited, all for just $49.99 a month. Call 833-673-4999. Spectrum Internet delivers speeds up to a gig with over 99.9% network reliability. Advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security and privacy that automatically blocks threats to protect all of your devices. And Spectrum Mobile gives you unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide 5G and the most reliable service coast to coast. Switch now. Call 833-673-4999. At Spectrum, it's not just about connecting things, it's about connecting you. Get it all with Spectrum One, Spectrum Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and one line of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for $49.99 a month. Call 833-673-4999 or visit a Spectrum store today.
Creating family memories is what Maple Leaf Landscaping is all about. We design and build outdoor spaces that bring people together. Landscaped spaces for any size family. Functional, beautiful, a place everyone will enjoy. And it all starts with a free visit at your home by one of our landscape experts. So call Maple Leaf Landscaping today and have us create an outdoor living space for your home.
It was Halloween. My daughter stopped at 3 homes, her girlfriend's house, her teacher's house, and the man that murdered her. He molested her and he put her in a garbage bag. He was going to be released in 2018. Josh Call, he was not there for me at all. You want some help to find out what's going on, and he doesn't help. He don't care about the victims. I know Eric Toney does. Eric Toney helped keep that man that murdered my daughter from being released. Eric Toney's always been there for me, and that's the kind of attorney general we need.
Whenever you're in the season, you know, like you just wonder, dang, when I'm gonna get a break, when I can rest a little bit, and all of a sudden you get some time to rest, and it's like, what am I gonna do now?
The Badgers did find some things to do. Keanu Benton went fishing for walleye. Chimray DK dressed up for Halloween, and Jake Chaney went to an apple orchard for the first time in his life. But in terms of football, there wasn't a game to prepare for, just rest and relaxation. And it was good for this group. The bye week helped UW get some guys back and re-energize them as they prepare for their stretch run.
Really fun seeing those guys get back out there, and even today, just in a walkthrough, you got 4 or 5 guys back that are healthy, that are excited. So it kind of brings like a new energy to the group.
That just helps with our depth. There's been guys bumps and bruises, got
out of the game and couldn't play, so this bye week definitely helped us.
Hunter Wohler is expected to play. Hayden Rucci is trending in that direction. Nick Herbig got another week off his feet. You couldn't have asked for much more health-wise for the Badgers, and they really seem to be energized on Monday.
And they'll need to be. They'll need to be healthy and energized down the stretch. This is an important stretch run, not only for these players to end the season on the right note, but for Jim Leonhard in his quest to get the full-time head coaching job. So I think that was important. I thought the most important injury update was Hunter Wohler. They've really missed him in that back end. He's a potential difference maker at safety, and I think he can add something big down the stretch.
Heading into the bye week, Wisconsin was feeling pretty good about themselves. They just dominated Purdue and put their best performance of the season on tape. But then they had a week off. So the message from Jim Leonhard on Monday, urgency. They have to be ready to go from the start, because if they're not, everything they did right against Purdue will be forgotten.
Sometimes when you come off a bye, you have to be careful of walking through the beginning part of the week and just feeling good about yourself. Like, we're going to push these guys to snap back into it.
Your kind of vacation's over type deal. You know, you had that time to regroup, you had the time to get your legs back underneath you, but you got to get back to work, and you got to get prepared for Maryland. And I think that all the guys received the message.
I don't think they'll have a problem with that, and it kind of goes back to getting guys back. There's more juice in the room because they're excited to be back.
Absolutely. The one thing I like that Jim Leonhard is doing is I think he's drawing from his days as a player. He knows how bye weeks work, and he's probably seen it in the past where his teammates or maybe even himself early in the week just hasn't snapped back into the right frame of mind. So I think he's applying that to this week and this team. The other thing that's weird about this week is that Maryland's coming off a bye too, and they've won 2 straight. So you're not catching a team that's tired.
And still to come on the Badger Blueprint, the plan for the future. Jim Leonhard laid out his vision for the program to the team. Their reaction after the break.
As governor, I'll always try to do the right thing. I've worked with both parties to find middle ground to improve and invest in our public schools, cut income taxes, and put our state on solid financial footing. But here's what I won't do. I won't cut public school funding. I won't be Donald Trump's puppet. And I'll never allow radical politicians to make decisions about abortion. That should be left to women and their doctors. I'm Tony Evers, and I'm asking for your vote.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
Oh, great. My wireless bill just went up.
Should have gone with US Cellular. They aren't raising prices on any of their plans.
Seriously?
Yeah, my price won't increase.
Well, that is refreshing. I feel like everywhere you turn these days, prices are going up.
Supply chain got us too. Don't get me started on the overhead costs.
At US Cellular, every plan for everyone is price protected.
You know, I respect a female entrepreneur.
US Cellular, where every plan is price protected.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now, the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to bruxnightguard.com and order yours today.
Habitat Restore is full of great finds at great prices for a great cause. With a unique inventory of high-quality, low-cost goods, you can save money and feel good about your purchase. Shop Restore Dane County today.
When pain says, I'm here, I say, so are they. Aleve, who do you take it for?
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
All units. Reports of an abortion at Central Hospital. Officers needed to detain doctor.
If Ron Johnson has his way, he wouldn't just ban abortions. Doctors could go to jail for it. And Johnson's tried for over a decade. He even co-sponsored a bill with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the woman. And said if women don't like an abortion ban, they can just move. But it's Ron Johnson who doesn't belong in Wisconsin.
News 3 Now, election night coverage, Tuesday, November 8th.
Besides recruiting during the off week, Leonard shared his vision for the future of the program with the team. From nutrition to recovery to academics, the off season, he had a plan for everything. And it's safe to say the Badgers are on board.
He wants this program to be the best that it can be, and he's willing to do whatever to make that happen. He wants the best for us as players, and he wants the best for this university and this program. And I think that he has the right plan.
I know I'm capable of it. I would be excited for the opportunity, and it's fun to get the chance to really affect some change this season and see what we can get done.
Mert said he's ready for it. Herbig said he liked what he heard. The players want it for him. Leonard wants it. Not surprised that A, he had a plan, and B, the plan is about the culture, the standard, and the players at Wisconsin.
I thought it was a really interesting news conference from Jim Leonard on Monday. He clearly has given a lot of thought and put a lot of thought into this, next step in his journey. And I really thought he made a case for himself. I don't know that he necessarily went into that news conference wanting to do that, but he did. He laid it out on the line and what he could do for this program, the different things he wants to do and see. I thought it was a really impressive message from him.
Saturday marks the 4th meeting all-time between Wisconsin and Maryland, and this Terps team is way better than those other 3. Maryland enters Madison 6-2, and their offense is explosive. Led by Tolia Tagovailoa, the Terps are 3rd in the Big Ten in scoring and passing. They're fast, skilled, and the Badgers know their scheme isn't anything crazy. They just execute it well.
They're simple. They have a simple plan, but, are you going to tackle those guys out in space, or are you going to be in the right gap every time? They have a simple attack, but they have athletes. They have really good athletes, so we're going to have to bring our A game.
Tagovailoa is expected to be back. When he's in there, Jim, Maryland is a different team on offense.
Yeah, absolutely. I watched them play against Michigan earlier in the year, and just a really explosive offense, and I thought defensively they were better than I thought they'd be. This is a team that's hovering around that 3rd or 4th spot in the East, which is a very tough division. It's going to be a challenge for this Wisconsin defense.
Badgers 5.5-point favorites. How do you see Saturday playing out?
Yeah, very difficult game for Wisconsin, but I do think they're going to win. I like the fact that they're coming off the bye week, the urgency that we talked about, the fact that there's still a lot to play for, especially Jim Leonard's coaching future. Wisconsin 27, Maryland 23.
I was wrong about Illinois, wrong about Michigan State, and wrong about Purdue, but I think my luck's coming around. Badgers are healthy, and that's big for this team. I think Wisconsin wins by 13. And that's it for this week's Badger Blueprint. Thanks for watching.
All right, we have something pretty exciting to share with you. History made in the World Series tonight. The Houston Astros threw a combined no-hitter to blank the Philadelphia Phillies 5-0. It is just the 2nd time in World Series history that a no-hitter has been thrown. The first one, Don Larson's perfect game in 1956 for the Yankees. Brady actually shared that with me.
Yes.
Yeah. And with the win, the Astros tie up the series 2 games apiece in the best-of-7 series.
Oh, wow. That's just flat out amazing, almost like the weather we're having.
Yes.
70s are sticking around, folks, but hey, storms on the way.
Have a home run night, everyone.